The woods are just as dangerous as they are creepy. They hide terrifying creatures and bizarre entities that will leave you scarred for life. So proceed with caution, because these are the scariest creatures found in the woods.
It's coming over here. It's coming.
A man driving along a winding mountain road suddenly noticed a strange figure hovering above the slope. As he slowed to get a better look, the being moved swiftly toward his car and leapt onto it. For several tense moments, it seemed as if it might reach him. But he managed to drive away just in time. Seconds later, the figure vanished entirely, leaving the mountainside silent once more. The brief sighting remained unexplained, leaving only questions about what had appeared that day. Silent Tree Watcher. During the daytime, another man noticed something strange outside his home near the woods. Standing beside a tree was a tall, thin figure that did not move at all. From its body, long tentacle-like shapes slowly shifted and drifted. The man recorded the figure quietly, unsure of what he was seeing. The creature showed no reaction. It simply stood there, watching. The next video explains why. Nagual caught on camera. This footage was described as showing a Nagual, a figure deeply rooted in Mesoamerican and Toltec spiritual traditions. In these beliefs, a Nagual, from the Nahuatl word Nahuali, referred to a human who accessed spiritual power through transformation, or a strong connection to an animal counterpart. The incident took place in a rural farming area during nighttime. Local farmers reported hearing strange sounds that did not match any known animal. The footage showed a creature moving unnaturally in the darkness. Its body appeared animal-like, but toward the end of the clip, the camera briefly captured a face that looked disturbingly human. The features were harsh and unsettling, closely resembling the traditional image of a witch described in local folklore. This detail became the most disturbing part of the recording. Strange encounter in swamp. Deep inside a swamp, a man experienced a sight that stopped him in his tracks. He noticed a figure in the distance that he later described as an actual. In regions like the Amazon, stories have long existed about isolated tribes rumored to attack or consume outsiders, blurring the line between folklore and reality. The encounter was brief, but intense enough to leave him shaken. Moments later, the swamp returned to silence, once again hiding whatever had revealed itself for only a short time. Creepy figure. A mysterious figure was discovered, wrapped tightly in fabric, standing completely still, with no sign of movement or reaction. When the eerie footage went viral, speculation ran wild. One observant viewer noticed that the ropes around the figure seemed untied. Some theorized it could be a ghost, trapped within the cloth and unable to break free. Others said it was something sinister. From watching to following. In a follow-up video, the situation became more serious. The same man later encountered the figure again while walking through a park close to his home, surrounded by trees. This time, the creature was closer. Its upper body looked somewhat human, but it was completely hairless. Long, strange tentacles moved slowly around its body. This was no longer just a creature of the woods. Now, it had become a scary, stalking cryptid. Oh, shoot. Forest encounter. A security guard patrolling the same forest late at night noticed unusual movement high in the trees. Shining his flashlight, he revealed a pale, humanoid figure with long hair and an oddly shaped face. Its head tilted unnaturally, and every subtle movement seemed deliberate, suggesting intelligence beyond what he expected. Startled, he ran, and when he looked back, the figure had completely vanished, leaving the night eerily quiet. Beast of Oregon. This clip came from Central Oregon, where a group of teenagers reported a disturbing encounter late in the evening near an open field bordered by bushes and trees. While recording, they noticed a large, unknown creature moving across the field.
Oh my god, oh my god!
It's coming over here. It's coming.
What immediately stood out was how it moved. At times, it crawled low on all fours. Moments later, it rose up and walked upright on two legs. As the teens continued filming, the creature repeatedly disappeared behind bushes, only to reappear seconds later in a different position. The footage ended with the group shaken but unharmed. The creature was never identified, and no clear explanation was given.
Oh my god.
Duende encounter. A man reported a disturbing encounter while moving through a forest at night. According to his account, a mysterious figure suddenly lunged from the darkness and fled before he could clearly identify it. The encounter happened quickly, but the experience left him shaken and convinced that what he faced was not an ordinary person or animal. Based on local folklore, he believed the attacker may have been a duende, a small forest-dwelling entity often described in rural areas as aggressive, elusive, and territorial. Whether the figure was a duende or another unknown presence hiding in the forest remains unclear. Red-eyed creature. While walking through a quiet forest, a man noticed a dark figure just a few feet ahead. Its glowing red eyes stared directly at him, and sharp horns gave it a frightening appearance. The creature stayed completely still, almost as if it were observing him. After a tense moment, it slipped silently into the shadows, leaving him with only questions about what had just appeared in the woods. Dogman in the woods. While hiking deep in a remote forest, a lone adventurer noticed something ahead that immediately stopped him in his tracks. Between the trees stood a massive wolf-like figure, far larger than any known animal in the area. What made it even more disturbing was its posture. It was standing upright on two legs, not hunched. After a brief pause, it stepped back into the trees without making a sound. Mysterious creature. In 2023, a strange incident was recorded in Candelaria, a town in Valle del Cauca, Colombia. A tractor driver working along a rural road noticed a tiny figure standing ahead of him. At first glance, it appeared to be a small child. But the size, posture, and movement quickly suggested otherwise. The driver began recording as the figure moved across the road in an unusual way. It was very small, with proportions that did not match a human child. Its movements looked deliberate but unnatural, drawing immediate attention. After the footage surfaced, many viewers pointed out how closely the figure matched descriptions of a duende. But what do you think this creature was? Let me know in the comments below.
Un duende, me acabo de aparecer acá en la Gran Colombiana.
Unknown creature, trapped. In a wooded area, an unknown person recorded footage of a strange creature that had already been captured and was being transported by an unidentified organization. The video showed the creature confined inside a heavy steel cage. Only parts of the creature could be seen. Its fingers extended through an opening in the cage. They were dark brown in color, thick, bulky, and ended in sharp, pointed tips.
Sandra, bonita. Sandra.
The texture looked rough and unnatural, unlike any known animal. At one moment, the cameraman moved closer and touched the creature's fingers. Immediately, the creature reacted. Through the narrow opening, it turned its head and stared directly at the man. Its face remained hidden by the shadows and the bars, making its features impossible to identify. Seconds later, the creature slowly pulled its fingers back inside the cage. After that, it was no longer visible. The recording ended shortly after, with no further explanation.
Hola, bonita. Ya nos vamos.
Humanoid chases car. Late at night near an abandoned area, a man slowed his car after noticing sudden movement in an empty field. What emerged did not resemble any known animal or person. A pale, thin humanoid with long arms and legs rushed directly toward his vehicle with speed. Reacting quickly, he accelerated and managed to escape before it reached him. Within seconds, the figure vanished into the darkness. The man made it out unharmed, but the encounter remained deeply unsettling, with no explanation for what had appeared in that deserted area. Terrifying horned cryptid. A hiker exploring deep woodland captured footage that immediately stood out.
Those antlers that walk. Oh man.
While hiding behind trees, he filmed a tall, thin being moving quietly between the trunks. Its arms and legs were unusually long, its body narrow, and its movements felt stiff and unnatural, like it hadn't yet learned how to walk yet. What truly set it apart were the horn-like shapes rising from its head, clearly visible as it stepped forward. It looked exactly like Wechage, which is often mistaken for a Wendigo.
Oh man. It's going deeper.
Rare antler beast. A beast of a creature was caught on camera by a driver. Deep in the northern wilderness, a rare white moose was captured on camera, immediately drawing attention because of its unusual appearance. At first glance, many assumed it was a true albino. However, this condition is not actual albinism. Unlike true albino animals, which lack pigment in their skin and eyes, this moose had normal skin and eye coloration. Even the antlers appeared unusual, covered in a layer of fur that blended with the rest of its pale coat. Sightings like this are rare, especially in such remote areas, making the footage significant. Roadside forest crawler. Late at night, a man was driving past a quiet field near the woods when his dashcam caught something disturbing. A tall, pale humanoid suddenly appeared on the road. Its arms and legs were long and thin, moving in sharp, unnatural angles.
It just blinked. What is that thing?
It's gone. It's in the trees.
It did not walk like a person or run like an animal. The driver slowed down, but did not stop. Something about the figure felt wrong and unfamiliar. Within seconds, the creature crossed the road and disappeared into the dark tree line.
Quiet night out here. Whoa! What the?
Sasquatch spotted. In broad daylight, new footage captured a towering Sasquatch walking across a hilltop near Silverton, Colorado, in the United States. The video showed the figure clearly outlined against the open sky, making the sighting especially striking. The creature appeared extremely tall, with unusually long arms that swung low as it moved with steady, confident strides. There was no sign of panic or haste, suggesting it was aware of its surroundings and unbothered by being exposed in the open. The figure eventually disappeared beyond the crest of the hill. Alberta encounter. In the forests of Alberta, a trail camera meant to track wolverines caught something entirely unexpected. Behind the trees, a large, dark, furry figure appeared, moving slowly and deliberately. It blended almost perfectly with the shadows, revealing only enough to make its presence undeniable. Moments later, it slipped deeper into the woods, disappearing completely, leaving the forest still and silent, as if the creature had never been there at all. Mysterious forest figure. During an evening hike through a dense forest, a man noticed something unusual in the distance. Behind the trees, a dark humanoid figure briefly appeared, watching him silently. As he moved closer, the figure shifted, slipping behind a slender tree, as if trying to stay hidden. Seconds later, it disappeared completely, leaving the trail feeling empty and making the walk far more unsettling than before. Trail cam humanoid. A trail camera placed deep in the woods of the United States recorded something that has since puzzled many viewers. The footage, captured late at night, showed a tall humanoid figure moving slowly through the trees. Its legs were unusually long, and its arms hung lower than what would be considered normal for a human body. The creature's body appeared thin and elongated. Whatever crossed that trail camera's path that night, it did not behave like anything familiar, leaving the footage unexplained and deeply unsettling. Woods humanoid. In May 2023, a man riding his bike spotted something unusual near a cluster of tall trees. A dark, tall humanoid figure briefly emerged from behind one of the trees. The area was completely deserted, far from any signs of civilization, which made the sight even more disturbing. It stayed just long enough to be seen before slipping silently back into the forest. The man was left uncertain. Had he witnessed something real, or was it merely a trick of the shadows? Bipedal creature. Two Russians were driving late at night near the Bashkortostan region when something unexpected crossed the road in front of them. A bipedal creature, covered in long white hair, ran quickly across their path before disappearing into the darkness. For a brief moment, they thought it could have been a moose, but its upright posture and running style did not match any known animal. After passing the spot, they noticed disturbed snow along the roadside and decided to slow down and look more closely. The marks suggested something had moved through the area with speed. The remote location made the encounter even more unsettling, as there were no nearby settlements or signs of people. Small forest figure. While filming forest scenery, a man later noticed something unsettling hidden in his footage. Standing between the trees was a small, dark figure with thin arms and legs, facing directly toward the camera. Its head had an unusual shape, and its body remained completely still, as if it was aware it was being watched. There was no sudden movement or attempt to flee. It simply stood there, observing. The calmness of the moment made it even more disturbing, and the forest background offered no clues about where the figure came from or where it went after the clip ended. Tree creature. There is something about this video that has people feeling extremely anxious. An enigmatic furry creature was caught sitting on top of a tree in Maine, USA.
I wonder if he was in the tree or Parker treed him.
That's pretty high.
This unidentifiable round entity was perched at the very top and was closely looking at the person recording it. It even turned around to get a closer look, and the more you look at it, the less this creature makes sense. It had no facial features that were visible other than a dark, abyss-like void all over it. The tree creature also looked eyeless, yet it's certain that it was staring directly at the person.
I can't believe we saw a porcupine bear.
That really looks like a monkey.
I know.
Unknown tree creature. It's not the wind moving this tree. This tree was caught moving on its own, and it looked like it would be the wind. But looking closely, you can tell there is a dark figure right below it, shaking the tree. Then something jumps out of it and runs inside the forest on all four. The creature was completely hairy and had short legs. It doesn't look like any animal, and some said that it's either a juvenile Sasquatch or a dogman. What do you think? Tree octopus. This alleged real footage shows one of the most mysterious and odd behavior ever caught on camera, and it's not even certain if this is even a behavior or an undiscovered species. The tentacle monster was caught on a tree and is allegedly a tree-dwelling octopus. Specifically, it is a Pacific Northwest tree octopus and is very elusive. The following footage is the only documented case of this enigmatic creature, and the person who caught it even managed to film it hatch from an egg. Take a look. So is this real or fake? As always, decide for yourself. Masked crawler. A chilling video emerged late at night, showing a man crawling on his knees through a dark, shadowy forest. His face was concealed behind a terrifying mask, adding to the eerie mystery of why he was moving through the woods in such a disturbing manner. Viewers were left both confused and unsettled as the masked figure silently wandered through the forest. Even more haunting is the claim that this masked crawler still haunts the woods of Wyoming. Small humanoid. Two men came across this peculiar humanoid creature somewhere in Southeast Asia. The creature had unusually gray skin, white eyes, and a protruding snout, much like that of apes. Also, it was acting in a rather strange way. While many in the paranormal community have dismissed it as a hoax, I do think it could be an unknown primate. Missing girl or ghost. A group of friends was driving through a forest at night in Belmont, Michigan, when they saw a girl sitting on the side of the road. She was soaking wet, like she'd just crawled out of the nearby river. It didn't feel right, but it was a moral dilemma. Should they stop and help her, or is this a trap?
What the
Stop. No,
Stop.
I'm not. No. Hell no.
So they called the police, and they identified her to be a missing person.
Bro, what the
Man confronts strange creature. Brave man decided to go into the woods alone to investigate the strange sounds coming from the woods. A few minutes later, he saw a strange creature in front of him. It looked like a skinwalker, staring at him intensely. The man wasn't afraid. He stood his ground as the creature ran back into the woods. The strange noises never returned. The locals hailed the man as a hero. Forest witch. The footage revealed a blurred, human-like figure sitting eerily between the road and the trees. Though difficult to make out, its long arms and unusual shape left no doubt it wasn't human. Many speculated it could be a witch, as several campers had reported seeing a similar creature that frequently ruins their campsites. The unsettling figure added to the growing fears of something supernatural lurking in the woods, leaving viewers with a chilling sense of dread about what might be hiding in the wilderness. Invisible forest figure. This video surfaced online almost 18 years ago after being uploaded by a user known as Stingy J. The tape came into his possession through illegal means, which led to him and a friend spending several days in jail. From the beginning, the footage carried a sense of unease. Captured in the Appalachian foothills showed two men walking through a trail.
Over there, look, over there. You see that?
What the hell?
When the bushes to their right began moving. Then, a tall and narrow shape became visible, not as a solid body, but as a distortion in the forest itself. It looked like something invisible was standing there, its outline revealed only by the way leaves and branches bent around it. The men stopped walking. Over the years, no signs of editing or manipulation have ever been found. The footage was archived by a retired sheriff's deputy in Emerson, Bartow County, Georgia, before details surrounding the case were removed from public records. The figure was never identified, and no official explanation was ever given.
Wait, because that was it again, right there. Wait.
Forest shadows. Late at night, a security camera near a quiet village captured unusual activity at the forest's edge. A branch shifted oddly, and then two dark figures emerged, moving cautiously and low to the ground. Their motion seemed human-like, but the shapes didn't match any ordinary person. Locals began referring to them as dogmen, fueling curiosity and unease. Watching the footage, it's difficult not to feel the forest hiding something just beyond human perception. Farmhouse fence cryptids. At a remote farmhouse near the woods, a man recorded a disturbing scene by an old fence. Several humanoid figures stood there, not moving much. They simply faced forward. People living nearby reported tools disappearing, animals refusing to step into certain areas, and a low humming sound in the neighborhood. The figures did not behave like trespassers or curious locals. They stood too still, too deliberate, and far too calm. So what were these creatures? Share your answers in the comment section. Hunter's nightmare. Two hunters were preparing for a hunt on a remote mountain near a still lake when something unusual caught their attention.
What is it?
I don't know. Over there.
Where?
Across the water, a massive furry creature stood upright, observing them with an almost intelligent awareness. Its gaze was steady, studying their movements as if assessing whether they were a threat. In a moment of fear, one hunter fired shots into the air, forcing the creature to finally turn and retreat into the dense trees.
Oh my God, it's running! Dude!
The hunters were left in disbelief, realizing they had witnessed something that had only existed in local legends. Unexpected discovery. While exploring the forest nearby, a group of hikers stumbled upon a shocking scene. On the forest floor lay the carcass of a large, furry creature, its body stiff and eerily preserved. The features were unfamiliar, not matching any known animal in the region, and gave the impression of something otherworldly. The hikers could only watch in silence, unsure whether they were seeing a remnant of a legendary creature, possibly a Bigfoot, or something even stranger that the wilderness had hidden from view. Pale creature encounter. While walking along a road beside the forest, a man heard an unusual noise coming from a corner. Out of the trees, a pale figure appeared, moving in a way that seemed unnatural, almost otherworldly. Acting quickly, he managed to get away. And the creature disappeared from view. The unsettling encounter left him shaken, raising questions about whether beings like rakes or shapeshifters could be lurking just out of sight. Real gargoyle? While making his way home, a man caught sight of a peculiar figure crouching in an odd posture. His curiosity piqued. He zoomed in for a closer look and was astonished to see small wings sprouting from its body. The details all seem to align with one specific creature, the gargoyle. For those unfamiliar, gargoyles are mythical beings often associated with the stone carvings adorning ancient buildings, believed to ward off evil spirits. Let's move on to the subscriber's pick. Recently, a fisherman in the Amazon River captured astonishing footage of a massive, unusual creature. At first glance, it resembled a boar, but its size and features were far beyond any normal wild pig. The animal was enormous, easily dwarfing a human, and it didn't have the typical tusks. Instead, two sharp, massive horns jutted from its head, pointing forward like natural swords. The creature moved effortlessly through the deep river, which was too deep for a person to stand in safely, yet it walked with surprising ease. The footage shows the boar navigating the river slowly, its massive horns cutting through the air, leaving viewers stunned by both its size and its unusual anatomy. This does look like a mutated boar, or some sort of anomaly that made this animal much bigger than normal, possibly rare genetic condition characterized by reduced body fat and increased skeletal muscle size due to myostatin-related muscle hypertrophy.